welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is our recap for All Stars 3, Episode 2. My name's Zach. I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, hey, hey.
My best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, this is late because, like we said when we recorded Episode 1, initially we weren't aware that they were doing a 2-episode premiere, so we were going to split them up, and then we'll do Episode 3 later this week.
You can't expect us to be mind readers, Zach. We didn't know what they were thinking going into this or what they were doing.
Who is they? Production or the cast? Or the viewers of our podcast?
Wasn't there a Stephen King novel, Them?
There's one called It.
It.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's also Pet Sematary.
Or Christine. I think Christine is about a truck that comes to, like a semi-truck that comes to life and kills people.
Human skin truck, baby.
No, it's not a human skin.
This
This
is not Stephen King, but there is a movie out there about a killer tire.
Tire?
Look it up. Give me a title here. A movie about a killer tire.
I think it's...
I'm telling you. The tire...
I'm not arguing with you.
And then pull up a trailer. It's the wildest thing. I kind of want to watch it. I feel like it's one of those movies along lines of like a Happy Thanksgiving.
Rubber.
Yeah, pull up a trailer.
It's a French independent horror comedy.
What if we don't watch a trailer?
It's just a tire.
It's probably like Thanksgiving, I would assume, which we did
That's
watch.
what I was thinking about. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which is the turkey. Which I showed Hannah a clip from that the other day. And
I didn't like it. I wanted him to turn it off.
Literally, there's a part of that Thanksgiving movie where the turkey, which is a turkey size, right, kills the sheriff and then cuts his face off and puts it on his body. So it's still only like 2.5 feet in the air, right?
That's right.
And then just has a fake like face on him.
On the front of a turkey
And then
beak.
all these kids come in and they're like, "Hey, Dad." Like,
and she hugs it.
yeah, like, "How's it going?" He's like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And
then he talked like, "Oh, it's pretty good."
Yeah, it was more like that.
I don't know, Han. I think you'd like that movie.
Maybe not.
I don't think you would.
I don't think I would either.
I do like really bad, like.
What's the one about the birds?
So yeah, well, so they're different. So Thanksgiving, which is about a bird.
Okay.
It knew it was a joke. Like Thanksgiving was like, oh, we're gonna be really tongue in cheek, and like obviously people wouldn't think that a turkey with a human face on it is actually the dad or whatever. Birdemic, which is what you're talking about, was trying to be like, no, we are a social awareness movie about the effects of, I think it's climate change, and then they is just awful, but it's good. Have you seen Birdemic?
I haven't. I was just reading. You still got Google pulled up here.
I do.
Rubber got a 68 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how many people actually reviewed it. It got got a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, which is not great. It's yeah. I mean, the audience score is lower than the critic score for Rubber on Rotten Tomatoes, which it's usually the other way around.
How about that?
That is interesting.
Well,
I've not ever heard of that one. I do love bad movies. I do love...
Birdemic is the one.
Birdemic is a really good bad movie.
we may need to have a watch party sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next Watching Heads, right?
Watching Birdemic?
Or Rubber.
I don't want to watch Birdemic again. One time is more than enough.
I've watched it multiple times already.
For my lifetime. I know that you've
the
watched
one
it
you
multiple
guys
times.
have been trying to get me to watch that
The Calamari Wrestler?
No, that we still never watched that I think would make a great Watching Heads. Minis.
True.
I would watch that again.
The thing with that is it's complicated because I've toyed around with the idea of trying to do YouTube and that is one thing that I would for sure make a YouTube video about is minis, because 11 years ago when the podcast How Did This Get Made got started with Paul Scheer and Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Rayfield, where they watch awful movies, I emailed them and I was like, guys, I've got the movie you need to watch. And Paul emailed me back and he's like, that sounds very interesting. He's like, we'll definitely put it on our radar.
It's
so hard to find.
Up their alley.
But they watch typically big release stuff and like minis.
Like Cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way,
They
I tried to watch Cats and I had to turn it off after 20 minutes.
We turned it off. Cats is the reason COVID-19 happened and the pandemic because it was released immediately before. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, there was a butthole cut.
Yeah.
There was an initial version of Cats where they had buttholes that you saw. And then they were like, we can't release this. And so they went in.
It was a thing.
They went in and took them all out. But then the theatrical release had like just all kinds of awful CG where like sometimes they would forget to like turn people's hands into like cat paws. And so like you'd see someone with like rings on and stuff. And then after like 2 weeks, they fixed that, and you can no longer find it.
Dang. The movie Cats was an absolute dumpster fire of a disaster, and it caused the pandemic. You cannot tell me otherwise. Anyway, also, how did this get made? They are the biggest fans of
Smashing Heads podcast,
The Fast and the Furious.
That is true. Unironically, they do, and they bring Adam Scott on every time a new one comes out
because he's a huge fan.
Yeah.
You know, Ben from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Or if you want to,
they've got great
if you want to
taste.
do a deep cut, he was Griff on Boy Meets World back in the day.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's the first because I remember when like I started seeing him stuff, I was like, I know this guy.
Yeah,
and it was because he was on Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
I'll watch.
Rest in peace to Big Van Vader.
He was on Boy Meets. He was
the dad of.
So let's just get into this real quick. Frankie
the Killer. Or what was his name? Frankie the...
There's Joey the Rat.
Joey the Rat and Frankie
the Enforcer.
The Enforcer, that's it.
Yeah, and Vader was his dad. Ironically, Frankie was very gentle. Joey the Rat went on to be the guitar player in the band Rilo Kiley.
Okay.
Which is Jenny Lewis, and like she was engaged to Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cutie for a while, and that's just what he does now. He's just a musician. There's all kinds of things. Minkus, there was a rumor that Minkus was turned into Chanel West Coast from ridiculousness.
Oh, yeah.
People still believe that.
Yeah, that's not a thing. But I haven't watched Girl Meets World because I don't want to ruin the sanctity of Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
So I'll watch Rubber later.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about a movie. Birdemic's it's a good watch.
You would like it.
Yeah, I think you would.
You would like it.
At Smashing Heads on Twitter, trying to get to 1,000 people following us on there, and then at Smashing Heads on at Smashing Heads podcast, sorry, on Instagram and Facebook. So
messing up.
I got them backwards. I'm still a little congested from COVID, even though it's been 18 days at this point. It's still a little annoying, but that's the only issue I have currently is congestion. So if I sound a little weird, that's why.
And y'all notice my eyes? Look how much better my eyes look.
Yeah, I did post that picture.
You don't look like you're coming off of a bender.
I posted that picture in our Slack group. I need to just put it on Patreon just in general. I'll probably put it up when we put this episode up.
Yeah.
Did you take a picture in the kitchen? Because that's where it looked the worst.
No, but
that's on you.
You can still see.
That was a missed opportunity.
Because I said, I was like, it looks worse in person. And one of our patrons, JD, says, well, it doesn't look good in the picture form.
Well, there you go. You did it.
And
I didn't even see who all responded.
He's like, it doesn't even look like him.
No.
And Grimm wants to know if I got pepper sprayed.
It does kind of look like you got pepper sprayed.
That picture does not at all.
It's not as bad.
It really doesn't.
I'd
do
say
it
it's
justice.
at least 50% worse.
Yeah, it really. Eye, it looked bad.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed to be out in public. Honestly.
Yeah. It was more like lively red.
Yeah.
Around, and this just kind of looks like you have like weird wrinkly bags.
But that was part of the problem.
Yeah.
Was my eyes just acting up. You know? I don't have bags like that.
You should invest in a good eye cream.
I've been using cortisone 10.
Just rubbing it right in the eyes.
No, you need an eye cream.
That's why but see, here's what's crazy
it's eczema. It's not like he's just old and he's got bags.
No,
but you're supposed to use start using eye cream.
So
at 20 years old,
my fiance bought me eye cream, and I used it for about 3 or 4 days, and you see what happened to my eyes.
That's what happened?
Well, that's not what happened. My point is, like, it wasn't helping.
Okay.
It wasn't doing anything.
I don't know if that's a true correlation or not.
Well,
then I use cortisone 10, just like I do everywhere else.
Yeah.
I get
over
eczema.
the counter.
Over the counter. And and even on my arms, right? Like it's just better.
Cortisone it's a steroid.
Yeah.
Right. So it helps.
That's probably not good for your eyes.
I can
He
see
didn't
just
rub it in
fine.
his
And
eyeballs.
It's not,
No, but this area right here, your bags, it's as soft as tissue paper. So you have to be very careful about what you put in it because it soaks into your skin.
Steroids gonna make it strong.
Yeah.
Not how that works. But anytime you start a new skincare routine or change your skincare routine, that new product that you use, you have to give it 2 weeks straight use every single day for 2 weeks before you can determine whether or not it works or not. Because your skin has to.
I don't feel like Jake or I either one.
Your
have
skin
a
has to
skincare
adjust.
routine.
No, I've never.
Yeah, that's why you guys look the way you do.
I think we look all right.
Great.
I
Yeah.
feel great.
I told her the other day I went to get a sandwich at a local,
Jersey Mike's.
No, it was a local place, and
It's his favorite
I
place.
got out.
HCB, HCD.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was sitting in the car and he walked in to pick it
and
up.
I had to walk a pretty good way, and I told her when I got back, I was like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, I was like, but someone from Chi Omega sorority took their time to hold the door open for me on the way in and waited a good amount for me to get there. And I was like, I'm just saying.
I know a lot of those girls.
Yeah, and they know me now.
Yeah.
And
I told him he can
Don't-
have them. I
don't-
don't care.
Don't lose sight of what you have right here in your grass pan.
yeah.
Stone Cold Fox.
Bird in the hand. Yeah. Did you say Stone Cold Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Fox in the hand, bird in the
you don't
cocks.
hold doors for people you think are ugly. But I'll just tell you that.
That's right.
You see somebody ugly, you get, "Ugh," and then you close it.
You get out the door as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Speed walk.
Yeah. And so
Talking a mile an hour.
Not even remotely worried about anything.
well, patreon.com/smashits podcast, and we let's get into episode 2 because I think episode 3 drops in 2 days.
Cool.
And so we're gonna be doing that. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you did notice, but you probably maybe didn't take a note on it. It started with a ska cover of "Why Can't We Be Friends."
No, I noticed and I
honestly
refused to take a note on it.
I don't know who the band was. I probably need to look that up.
I am a very strong opponent of ska.
You and me both, Han.
Not a ska person.
It's one of those things I don't really see the value.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Well, here's the thing.
It's bad music.
Bad.
Let's. I'm looking at it now. Probably the version that we heard was not actually a ska version. It was just from Smash Mouth.
What
and
is
it just-
their
it
deal
just
with
had
Smash
horns.
Mouth?
Well, the ironic thing is that they don't use Smash Mouth for the All Star song. They use weird, slowed down
Versions of Smash Mouth songs.
Yeah, when you look up "Why Can't We Be Friends," ska Smash Mouth's version comes up, but they don't even have horn players, so I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
You know, well, I guess there's some mysteries in life you never get to the bottom of. I clicked on the YouTube video to see if this is actually the right version, or if this is like some.
No.
That's it. This is the same version.
Is that it?
I don't like it.
They just didn't have horns. You know, sometimes Smash Mouth will sneak into your life when you're not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you watch Shrek one time and then
It's all over.
yeah. So, did you notice MJ was getting corn roast from John A?
Yep.
I guess they have just a tight bond now, especially after winning last season.
One together.
I've been seeing on Facebook.
Why are you making that face?
I've seen a couple of separate posts now that John A and MJ had special relationship during the last season.
I wouldn't believe that.
Isn't she married?
She's
Yeah.
married and he's married.
Yeah.
And they both live in like the same town. That would be disastrous. That's probably just people in like those Facebook groups just making stuff up. Cause, I mean, if theoretically, if you're going to do something like that with someone on a show, you're not going to want to do it with someone that you might run into, like down the road.
Right.
How often are you going to run into somebody you know in the middle of Nashville? It's a big city.
Here's the thing. I know that there has been a lot of like stuff going on this weekend with like cameo for some reason with a lot of the people that are on All Stars 3, and they were all at a big house together.
Yeah.
And like John A was there with her husband, and like I feel like that's one of those things. They're like, oh, I bet they hooked up because they won together.
I hope it's not like that. I hope that they do just have a good friendship.
I have all those challenge groups muted, if I'm being honest, because
I normally do, but for some reason they just keep popping up on my feed, even though like I don't comment and I don't
but did
interact.
you go in and actually mute them?
No.
That's why.
Well, there's your problem.
Yeah. Melinda's worried that Wes's reputation might affect her.
A valid concern.
I don't know. I mean, even though Melinda made the final last season, if I'm being honest, like I'm still not looking at her and being like, oh, she's a big threat to me. Mm-hmm. If I'm one of the other female competitors. Because if I remember right, she won the one elimination against Tina that Tina quit.
Right.
And then she did win another one with Nehemiah, right? Where she had to like locate the gears and tell him like what color gears or something like that. There's like sand falling, or he had to look at the gears on the floor and tell her what to put on.
Yeah, did they beat Brad? I feel like, was that Derek? It was Derek, Brad, or Darrell?
Brad.
It was Brad.
Yeah, because Brad beat Derek earlier in this season,
right.
And then Darrell and what was her name that he was partnered with?
Remember. Janelle?
Janelle beat Jody and
Brad.
Well then Nehemiah didn't beat Brad. He beat somebody big though.
Derek?
No, you already said that, and Derek had already gone home.
Heck, I don't
These
know.
do run together real bad. It was a big name. It may have been Latarian or something, honestly.
You may be right. That may have been the
was it Latarian and Ayanna?
But Ayanna made the final.
God, man, all these run together. You're right. Ayanna was with Tech.
That's right.
Who was Latarian with?
Jasmine. It was Jasmine.
And Latarian. Yeah. So not as big of an upset, but that's what I'm saying. Like Melinda's 2 wins were not huge, momentum shifters for me, I guess. So she's worried about Wes, and I get it from the perspective that Austin, coming in, they had that problem before on what was the first season they were on?
Was that one of the? Oh man,
we just watched it not long ago.
Yeah,
it wasn't Rivals 1. It was
Wes, Danny, Melinda,
and Johanna. All of them were on there.
Yeah,
but they weren't considered like rookies. Was it? It wasn't Fresh Meat 1, was it? It was Fresh Meat 1 because Casey Cooper.
Is that right?
Yeah, Casey Cooper and Wes.
Okay.
So, but they did get targeted because they were all grouped together. Yeah. Those 3 being in a group does definitely put a little bit of a target on their back. Mark then goes in with his mom, and we get a FaceTime call, which I guess, did they do that at all last season? I don't remember. They do it every so often on seasons. I don't know the rules as far as how often you get to call in, or
even if it's got to be like a special occasion. Mark's mom has stage 4 cancer, so I think that's a good enough reason to let him FaceTime her.
Well, they got a whole room designated to it, so I mean,
yeah, back in the day, it used to just be a phone call, and
yeah,
FaceTiming probably changed all that for everybody, just because it's easier to do stuff like that.
Well, we're glad to know Mom got a good report, and we hope she continued to get good reports.
And he said that she loves watching him compete, and that is what keeps driving her. And so I bet she's stoked about his NXT thing.
Yeah,
I'm sure
that we talked about last week. So we kind of transition out of there. The good setup, though, by the way, because Mark kind of gets screwed later in the episode.
He does.
But right after that, we find out that Melinda is still having ankle issues
from the final.
She says she rolled her ankle 4 times in the first half of the final. Which how far separated are they from season 2 to season 3? She's acting like it's still a fresh injury.
Well, I gotta tell you, I rolled my ankle real bad little over a couple months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I still feel it.
If you tear the ligaments, it heals, but it heals more stretchy than it was, and it's not as stable as it used to be.
Like I took some. We played a little tennis match. You and I are in a tennis tourney.
Yeah.
We
Y'all
played
went
awesome
tomorrow.
last night.
Y'all went tomorrow.
And I actually took some ibuprofen before I played, just to
Smart.
But when I woke up this morning, it's sore. My ankle was legit sore.
You ran a lot last night, too.
I
lot,
went to the doctor last week for just the lingering COVID stuff, and they told me ibuprofen is better for actually treating. I believe he said actually treating like inflammation. They said acetaminophen, or however you say acetaminophen, which Tylenol. They said is just better at masking pain. So it depends on kind of what you need. If you want something to just get rid of the pain, Tylenol. If you want something to like help reduce inflammation, it's Advil. But you can take them both together. Like you can take like 2 Advil and 2 Tylenol, and it kind of it does dual purposes.
Tylenol is a fever reducer.
They both are.
More so.
I don't know if that's true.
but
I don't genuinely know.
But it's typically what women will take on their menstrual period.
See,
because it takes away the cramping pain, and I personally always run a very low grade fever for a few days.
He said it's better at masking pain than Advil is,
and Advil or ibuprofen are more along the lines of, oh, my muscles are hurting, or
it's for inflammation.
Yeah.
But I remember growing up seeing commercials, and everyone would be like, it was always like, oh, for your period, take Midol.
Yeah, that's like a specific brand made for that.
But is it like basically acetaminophen plus something else, or is it its own special thing, like how like aspirin is like naproxen sodium or whatever?
I don't know. It might be its own thing. I always thought it was just another name for Tylenol, and they were just trying to charge
Jake, do you know
the luxury tax on it?
You guys are more concerned about this than I am.
You know, you have to pay luxury tax on feminine products.
It is acetaminophen. No, wait. Yeah. And caffeine, which is in most of those anyway. And then someone who's a nurse, Neens especially, is going to get mad at me, but 15 milligrams of pyrolamine maleate, which is antihistamine.
Hey, quick shout out to Neens, who just graduated from nursing school recently, right? I'll just tell you, second best nurse I know.
First best nurse is the one you're marrying.
That's right.
I wonder if they overlap in the things they do.
I don't know.
Me either.
We'd have to ask Neens.
If Neens is concerned with it, my fiance is a pediatric ICU nurse.
Yeah, very specific.
Very specific.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know what Neens' specialty area is.
Well, it doesn't matter. She's second best in my book.
There you go. Why'd you wink at me when you said that? You did a little bit with the left eye.
Sometimes I think you wink accidentally.
I'm a big TLC fan.
Yeah, Lisa left eye.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Best known to me for her rap verse in NSYNC's Space Cowboys.
Oh, don't get him started on that.
I rapped
he
the whole
will
thing
rap the whole thing.
Her whole verse. Got it.
How was it?
Top of my head. I didn't miss a word.
He had it.
I had it.
He had it.
I could do it right now.
Had you had it?
No, I don't know that rap.
I'm asking, had you had enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You give what you get.
Yeah. So the daily for this,
you get what you give.
And you give what you get.
That's what it is.
And you don't say quit.
Was it Vertical Horizon? That you only get what you give.
Yeah. Forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Live and let die.
Justin Bieber said, "Never say never."
That's right. That's
what
I was looking for.
That's the one.
Die Another Day.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of that, I've not watched any of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Not one. I haven't either.
I haven't. I've just, for whatever reasons, haven't. And so the other day, we watched the first 2 of his back to back. We watched the first one because they're on Netflix. The first 2, and then I liked it, and it was like 11:30 or 11:45, and I was like, I'm gonna start the next one. And so we watched the next one. I haven't watched back to back movies. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. They're pretty good though.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're pretty solid.
They're
So
fun.
I'm still a Pierce Brosnan guy.
These are. I think these are better like action sequences and stuff than Pierce Brosnan.
No, I agree. I'm saying as far as Bond the character goes, I'm a big Pierce Brosnan guy.
That's
I
probably 'cause
talked to
I do like
I went to a graduation party yesterday before you guys had your tennis match, and I was talking to the girl's dad, who you're buddies with.
Well, both of us.
Well, Jake talks
Just specifically
Jake talks to him a lot more. Anyway, he loves he loves the 007 movies, all of them.
My dad loves them.
And he was talking about it. I said, "Oh, Zach made me start watching the Daniel Craig ones," and he was like, "They're very different from all the others because all the others, like each movie is its own thing."
These do follow like these,
but these follow like one long storyline.
Yeah,
like they're all connected.
Like the first one ended, and then the second one immediately picked up with something that happened at the end of the first. I mean, I think you could still be fine to watch, but I would watch them in order. And the first two are on Netflix
because they reference things that happened in the first movie.
Your dad is very into
westerns.
I would say
watch westerns.
Cops.
Foreign action movies.
I don't know about foreign, but he likes he loves the 007 movies. He loves like the Bourne movies.
Does
He
like
likes
the Fast and
Mission
Furious
Impossible.
movies?
No, he does not like those. He likes the Mission Impossible movies.
We've tried for years to get him to watch the Fast and Furious.
I think
that.
he's like, those are dumb.
He thinks what
He
most
likes
people
cars,
think.
though, doesn't he?
He does like cars. He likes them more than I do.
What movie did we go see with him in theater? That was
We did. We went and saw that movie with Johnny Depp
Is it
and
Angelina Jolie?
Angelina Jolie, The Tourist.
awful.
Not a good movie.
He hated it.
He didn't like it either. But we didn't like it.
That's probably why he won't see Fast and Furious.
No, I think that was his. Why did we go to see that with him?
I don't remember. It was like a Saturday afternoon or something.
we just went to the. You may have been living with me at the time.
I'm surprised he did anything on a Saturday afternoon with you.
It may have been a Friday. I don't know. We went, and it was an afternoon showing. I remember it, and we were just like, this was just kind of boring.
I'd like to go see a movie with your dad again.
Okay,
Oh,
I can
you should
arrange
call
that.
him up.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I
Can we
can.
go see?
Hey.
I mean, they're making a Mission Impossible 7.
He would probably go to that.
Jake, please weigh in on. We're way off topic, but please weigh in on this. Those
Don't.
movies are incredible.
No.
Every one of them.
Stop.
Awesome.
Every one
We're
of
not
them.
doing this.
And the first one's
We're
way
not
different
doing
than the
this.
rest of them.
The second one's way different than
But the first one's really good too.
yeah.
But like she hates Tom Cruise, so
That's crazy,
But
man.
I was like, those movies.
Like-
it doesn't matter if you like Tom Cruise or not. Those movies are good.
I put up a poll on my Instagram stories, and you would be shocked at the amount of people that messaged me and said they also cannot stand Tom Cruise.
To be fair, you were leading the witnesses. You're like, who doesn't like Tom Cruise?
No, I said name a celebrity that you very strongly dislike that other people think you're crazy for, and I said mine is Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And so many people replied and were like, mine is Tom Cruise. Can't stand Tom Cruise.
Guilt by association here.
Yeah.
Like you just you're friends with these people for a reason.
Well, some of them I
attract what
wasn't
you
really
are.
friends
Here's the
with,
thing,
but I became friends because we had a common thread.
Here's the thing. I'm
It's a
not.
bad take.
I'm not
It's
even like.
the
I'm not
anti-Tom
sticking.
Cruise fan club.
I'm not sticking up for Tom Cruise because I don't really care about a lot of his other movies. The Mission Impossible movies are incredible, and he does almost all of his own
All of them,
stunts.
all of them.
Like he learned how to fly a helicopter. For
I
the
just
last
saw a
one.
clip. I probably won't watch it because I didn't watch the first Top Gun and don't care
Yeah, I
to.
didn't
But
either.
supposedly, like
He learned probably how to fly the planes.
he did, and
Yeah.
he even said that he was like, "We want this to look real,
Yeah.
so we're going to do as much real stuff as
I
possible."
remember when-
it's a bad take, Han. It's as bad as people buying Michael Jordan jerseys because Miley Cyrus wore it in a music video. So
I remember when Mission Impossible 2 came out and he was hanging off that cliff, and they're like, yeah, he's doing this, and he doesn't have a wire on. They're like, there's just kind of like a net underneath, but he did all of that.
and they just went in and like edited.
Yeah, and
net out.
because he was like, yeah, I want it to be real. And like the last Mission Impossible, he was doing thing running along the rooftops, and he jumped and did a huge jump, landed, broke his ankle because he landed so hard. They had to take like 3 weeks off for however long, and probably longer than that, for whatever, and then he just picked right back up. Like, you got to respect it at least.
You don't really, nobody ever says this. He's probably a freak athlete.
Yeah,
Legit.
because he's got to be like 55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one saving grace in the one Mission Impossible movie that you guys made me watch.
Henry Cavill one.
Henry
Oh,
Cavill.
that's such a good one.
Henry
He
Cavill
cocks his arms.
cocks his arms like they're guns.
Yeah.
in the men's bathroom.
Henry Cavill was amazing.
And
in
that
movie.
that scene is the only thing I remember from that
bathroom
movie.
fight scene's incredible.
It's the only thing I remember from that movie. But I did reference that scene when I talked to our friend yesterday. Listen, about the Daniel Craig
the Mission
movies.
Impossible franchise is. I'm not even kidding. Like, it is a top tier franchise to me.
It is.
They're all good.
It is.
And just a ton of fun, but great action. I really do like the Bourne movie stuff, but they're not as fun as like the Mission Impossible stuff.
I grew up watching the Jason Bourne movies.
So anyway, that is what my dad likes. So, well, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, tell him.
We'll have to look at what's coming out.
He sold a car this morning, so he can pay. Can pay for everybody's tickets.
If he wants to get me anything as a wedding gift, I'd love to go to see Mission Impossible 7 with him. Are you texting him right now?
You've got to tell him.
I was looking at when the next one was coming out.
You've got to tell him that instead of a wedding gift, he has to go to a movie with you.
I'd love to do that.
So it wasn't. Again, we are so off topic. Not the last one with Henry Cavill, but the one before that. I believe they were in Budapest.
Is that the one where he's climbing up the building?
I think so.
Is that Ghost Protocol?
That was Ghost Protocol. I think it's the one between Ghost Protocol and what was
that one called?
They do kind of run to get Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation, is that what it was?
I believe that was the one in Budapest. My parents are actually in Budapest in Hungary, and they didn't know it. They were staying at the hotel across the street of the premiere of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation in Budapest, and so they got to like look out their balcony and see all the celebrities coming by and like going into the theater and all that stuff.
They watched Tom Cruise walk by.
Yeah, that's so freaking cool.
Jake, the next one comes out July 14th, 2023.
All right, well,
a late wedding gift.
That's fine. It'll be.
And they already have the next one supposed to come out June 28th, 2024.
Could I ask for 2 movies?
You could.
2 movies with you and your dad.
2 years.
Yeah, we'll get it worked out. We'll have to figure out. It would have to be something you know what? Another weird Tom Cruise. The Jack Reacher movie was good, and there may have been 2 of them. I don't remember.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, those are pretty good. Anyway, I don't remember how we got off on that, but the Daily is out of reach, and
we found out what the sabotage was.
Yeah, Wes and Sylvia both get to delay one person by a full minute after they do the swinging part. And Sylvia was like, oh, can Wes go first? And TJ's like, absolutely not. Like, what are you talking about? You have to do this. And so she picks Kellyanne just because Kellyanne came in second, I think, the last one. Mm-hmm. And Wes picks Jordyn. And
he said it's in honor of Best Friends Day.
Yes. And I was like, that's not, even though Wes is like showing his cards, like Jordyn knew him and Wes were going to be like going at it. And like, it wasn't like Jordyn's going to be like, oh, I'm going to get him now. Like, he's just going to be, all right, okay, well, I'm going to prove you wrong and still win. And by the way, he did win his round still.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
And so they get up in the swings. I saw Wes tweeted something about the swings, but I scrolled past it real fast because we hadn't watched the episode yet.
Okay.
I don't. You want to try to look that up? I don't know what he said because I'm pretty sure he's trying to pass the blame onto why he didn't do well with the swings.
Right.
But Wes and Latarian could not get the swing part figured out.
It was a really bad showing.
They were up there for 20 minutes.
Really bad
and just
showing.
had to cut them loose. It was from a few days ago. I don't know how far back. The first line is something about the swings.
Okay, here we go. The swing challenge was a nightmare for me. It's where I tore my bicep. For 2 days, I couldn't bend my elbow. Thought I'd have to go home, but hit it until I had enough mobility to fake using my arm. Rehabbing time didn't work, so I'm going to try a round of stem cells. On the fall, I cracked a tooth in the back of my mouth. I was just going to deal with it when I got home, but it started cutting my tongue so badly it was swelling and I couldn't swallow. I had to be escorted to a dentist downtown to do a temporary fix.
Good Lord.
So, dealing with a torn bicep and a chipped tooth here.
Man,
that's really bad.
From this, like it looked pretty. Like they had some pretty hard slams, like when they were hitting the water.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still wouldn't have thought it was that bad.
Yeah.
Man.
That's crazy.
So anyway, Jordyn wins that round, and I was like, Wes is still in his swing at this point, and Wes and Latarian drop after 20 minutes, but Latarian is the last one to finish, so he's going in No matter. Well, we don't know yet. We presume he's going in, but there's another round coming. So the first girls round goes, and John A wins that round.
Well, she does swing with her kids at the park. Like, she doesn't just push them. She gets on the swing, too.
Yeah, every other girl on that round other than Kellyanne had to do the 20-minute. And when we saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to really favor someone like Naya, who's got very long legs. She didn't even get it. She couldn't get up there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And
John A got her key first.
Yeah.
Kellyanne was a faster swimmer, so she got to the puzzle first, but she had the 1-minute penalty from the sabotage.
But what a disaster.
Yes. John A got that puzzle immediately. Kellyanne, it looked like she didn't know what a puzzle was.
Well, to be kind of fair to Kellyanne, I did see it, and I told Hannah at some point, like, that puzzle didn't fit together, like, really flush. Like, there was a lot of gaps and, like, some weird little things, and, like, because sometimes when people were asking for checks, they're like, is this right? And it was. But, like, it was one of those things where the more, like, flustered you get, it just makes the situation even worse, and then you get even more flustered. And she was losing it.
What was so crazy was in the middle of Kellyanne struggling to get this puzzle, she and Jimmy are some of the two last girls going.
Yeah.
And Jimmy keeps looking over at Kellyanne's puzzle to see what she's doing. And Kellyanne keeps like starting over.
Yeah.
She's not getting it. So definitely not the person to try to cheat off of.
I guess Jimmy at some point just decided to try to figure it out because Kellyanne was last that round. The next guy's round, Yes just wins it outright.
Darrell has roller coaster trauma.
True, and I understand him. When I was 7, shout out to my dad. Mm-hmm. We went to Disney World, and they made me ride Space Mountain. And like halfway through the line, I was like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, no, you're going to do it. And I had never been on a roller coaster at that point, and they made me. And I know I cried, and I hated it. And I didn't ride another roller coaster until I was probably like 15 or so when we started going to Six Flags with like youth trips. And I really like them. And like I'll ride almost anything now.
Did you get on Space Mountain when we went to Disney the last time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you conquered that.
Oh yeah, no, I did it
if
again,
you got
and it was
over
fine.
it.
But again, when you're 7, like Space Mountain's dark in there because it's like you're in outer space.
And you weren't sure about it either.
Well, maybe I don't remember if I did it actually this last time. I did it when me and my cousin went when I was like 18.
Well, that was not with me.
No.
I would have been a minor.
But you wouldn't have ridden it anyway.
No, I don't ride roller coasters. I have roller coaster trauma twice.
Have you gone to Disney?
I've been to like Universal.
That's not what I asked you.
I ain't been to Disney. I'm not 12.
I will say I do not understand people that are just like, oh, it's my vacation, I'm going to Disney, and that's just what we do every time.
I have a lot of friends like that.
I know a lot of people.
They
like,
love it. It's all they want to do.
Adults with kids and all the way down to like single people. And I was just like, because we went a couple of years ago, and I was just like, I just don't. After like 2 or 3 days, like I'm done.
I don't like rides.
So yeah, she's a lot of fun to be with there.
Yeah, I don't like rides. I don't.
If you're gonna do this stuff, you gotta spend the extra bit of money for the fast passes.
Yeah,
we had fast passes.
The
for
lines
everything.
are awful.
Awful.
But,
I mean, a ride that the regular line's 2 to 3 hours, fast pass will get you in
30-40 minutes
Yep.
sometimes. Yeah.
When we went to Disney, I got on 2 rides. One was the one
teacups. You rode that with us.
Okay, then 3. So
Yeah.
I do. The only ride I actually like is the teacups. But we also did the one where all the little people are singing the song.
Which you're in a boat that goes like 2 miles an hour.
And there's no up and down.
No,
it's just straight.
It's like you're just riding along, and it's a small world, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
and it's just,
that's it.
It's like 5 minutes of you just floating through an indoor
and all these little characters. It's full of like little people.
I mean, it was cool to
they're singing a
experience,
song, and it's different cultures and stuff. It's really cute. So I rode that, and then I got on the thing with you and the kids. And we did it was Buzz Lightyear, and you had lasers.
Oh, yeah, the blasters.
Yeah, so you got to shoot targets off in the distance. But again, very slow, and it's not up and down. It's just kind of a straight shot. Those were the 3 rides.
What's the one that like, I think it's not Haunted Mansion, but it's one where you're like in an elevator and it just drops you.
Oh, what the heck is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
We rode that.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of
That's
Terror.
it,
That's
Tower
it.
of
Yeah.
Terror.
I rode that with my cousin, and it's not what you think it is, because you get in and you're in an elevator car, but you actually like go forward and you're snaking around stuff, and it's like telling a story, and then you get to a part and it takes you up. And the thing that is weird about it is because I've done like rides where they take you up to the top and they just drop you before, which I don't like. This one, it drops you and you kind of like shoot under, so you don't have an abrupt stop. You kind of go with it, and then it shoots you back up in the air, but you never catch on anything. So you're just going up, and then once your gravity slows you down, you just start coming right back down again, and you're just free falling. And it's a wild experience. And the other thing is, when it throws you up to the top, there's windows, and you can see out over the rest of the park.
I don't know if that's the worst part or the falling's the worst part. Both of those are really bad.
Because I was expecting it to take you to the top and to hold you and then drop you, and it just kind of throws you up, and you never catch, and you come back down. And it does it like 3 or 4 times, and it's not just once. And so that is you should try that one time.
I've done that one.
Well,
you said you've only been to Universal. That's a Disney.
That's a Universal.
That's a Disney.
No.
100%. Jake, I've never been to Universal Studios. And we were at Disney
there
with the
may
kids.
be one that's similar.
There may be something similar.
But no, when I was a preteen, when I was a kid, we grew up in Knoxville. I did, and so we had summer passes to Dollywood, and I had a friend that her mom and my mom were best friends. They worked together and stuff, and so we went together. And she tried to get me on a ride, even though I was like, I don't think I like rides. She convinced me to go on this ride with her. And I was like, is it a roller coaster? And she said, no, it's not a roller coaster. And I said, do you promise this is not a roller coaster? Because I don't like roller coasters. And she said, no, it's a story. It's in the dark. So we get in these little, it's like in a mine, the little carts.
A mine cart?
Yeah, you get a mine cart. I know, it took me a minute to put it together. So you sit in a little mine cart.
Shout out to Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
And it is completely in the dark, and there's little puppets that are like telling a story on the side. It's an underground roller coaster. I thought I was going to die on it. So that was my initial
hallucination.
Roller coaster trauma. My senior trip, we went to Disney in California, the one that you and I went to. I went there before you and I went. Again, I had friends convince me, the whole entire group was getting on this ride, and I said, I don't do roller coasters. And the guys on our trip promised me, they swore up and down, this is not a roller coaster, it's just a story. And I said, no, I've been told that story before.
What ride was it?
It was the Pirates of the Caribbean one.
I've never ridden it.
Underground roller coaster.
Actually, I think I did ride. It's not really a roller, from what I remember.
My heart went out of rhythm at the end.
Your heart goes out of rhythm if I walk in a room and you're not aware of it. And
so,
you can't. That's not me being mean. If you walk in, if I walk in and I don't say anything, she goes, "Oh, you scared me." And I was like, if I would have came in and said, "Hey, I'm here," you would have been like, "Oh, you scared me." It's a lose-lose situation.
Anyway,
we're so off topic this episode.
We've done this twice now.
I know.
I have
done this twice.
I identify with Darrell. I also have roller coaster trauma. Therefore, I hate theme parks. I do not enjoy Disney. I do not enjoy Six Flags, Universal. I've been to Universal.
Went to Legoland.
Legoland is different. I didn't get on rides, but I did walk around and look at the Legos. That was fun. But I don't like rides. I don't like rides.
Darrell was the only one that was penalized with 20-minute thing this round.
He quit swinging,
and he came in last. The next,
supposedly his hands were bleeding and stuff.
He said that, and then later he's like, "Well, I didn't want to mess him up," and I don't know if those were just like rock. I would hope that those weren't like just, you know, those like cables that come out of like power lines to like stabilize them, and they put that like yellow plastic thing over it to kind of like, hey, don't decapitate yourself. Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's like that type of wire that was underneath there, because that would, you know, tear you apart if you stayed on there for too long.
No way would that be what they used for this?
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't see. It wasn't ropes. I mean, maybe it was. I don't know. So the girls' last round goes, and Tina, like,
immediately
turns, like, upside
Flips
down.
over.
Like, just loses her balance and is just hanging.
And I looked at Zach and I said, she's top heavy.
And then she did say that.
Tina said, I'm top heavy.
You know, shout out to, she's like, got these new boobs. You know, it's what she wanted.
Well, she's the only person that we saw
She's the only person that
fall
Humpty
out.
Dumptied herself. Yeah.
She literally fell out of her swing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, she'll just get a 20-minute penalty. But they're
No.
like, no, she got disqualified. And
The arms were locked in, too.
yeah, I genuinely don't, I wish we could have seen more closely, like, why, how did she end up in that position? Because it would, like, she did hold on longer than I would have expected for anyone to do that, because it's a weird position.
She tried to right herself, but I don't know.
you
She
can't.
just couldn't do it.
So she got DQ'd. Kendall won that round. And so it's Latarian and Tina going into elimination for sure. And we find out the winners are Yes and Kendall. And at this point, I think Veronica had a confessional. I didn't know Yes and Veronica were on the same Road Rules season. Obviously, I think we've said it many times before, didn't really watch Road Rules. I don't think you did either.
I did not.
Hannah definitely. I don't think she's ever seen Road Rules.
No.
I've probably watched a handful of like random episodes, but I never have watched a full season.
I've never watched The Real World. Any season.
I think I said it last episode. I'm watching through Survivor right now, but maybe we should watch through a Real World season at some point.
That could be our next watching head.
So,
Well, real quick on the daily. So,
Yeah.
my fiance is actually watching through this show, too. And I asked her...
and this is her first season ever.
I don't think she finished the episode tonight, but she sent me a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
She said, she was texting me, she said, I feel like if you did the challenge, then you would be Darrell, sitting on the swing, refusing to swing, and waiting for your mom to come save you.
Oh, she burned you good.
Nice.
She did. She also said, let's see.
Although she probably doesn't realize being compared to Darrell is actually a big compliment.
Right.
Yeah.
She initially said, don't share this one. And then she said...
Immediately shares it.
And then she said, LOL, you can do whatever you want. But she said...
This is a test. Don't do it.
It is a test.
Well, I don't understand why she didn't want this one to be shared, but she said, I would for sure, talking about herself, I would for sure be Tina, hanging helpless, double-cheeked up. She said, it's not because I'm top-heavy, though. It's because stuff like that just happens to me.
She just has bad luck. I don't know her well enough to know her luck patterns.
Is she uncoordinated?
I don't think so. She used to teach gymnastics.
Oh.
That's definitely coordination.
So I'm not real sure why she made that correlation. No real thoughts. Just
You think she doesn't have thoughts?
I'm just saying, like, I don't know if these are real, like,
She like
opinions.
a
It was just-
goldfish.
she thinks I'm Darrell and she's Tina, so.
Not the worst
Okay.
people you could be as a couple. That's a pretty strong challenge couple. She didn't give any more updates on Jimmy, though.
No.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll have more thoughts by next week.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't know Yes and Veronica went back that far, but the authority is Yes, Kendall, Jordyn, John A., Brad, and Kayla. And after we find that out, we get a confessional from Latarian. And looking back now, I'm like, this is, typical, like, foreshadowing, like, that the challenge does. Because Latarian's like, yeah, this money would come in handy. I'm thinking of becoming a single dad. And
No, he is a single dad.
I thought he said he was considering it through
A surrogate.
through
single dad.
surrogate. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He said through a surrogate, and I was like, well, that's interesting.
Well, he said kids are expensive.
Yeah, but because
which-
especially if you're doing a
Yeah.
surrogate thing, so then it cuts to a night out, and it's just a lot of drinking, hanging out. Kellyanne's hanging out with a stray dog, and she talks about wanting to open her animal sanctuary, which I think she talked about
Last season.
last season.
We like them dogs, man.
Yeah,
That dog she petted, 10 out of 10. That's a good
Kellyanne
dog.
is how I would be at one of those like night out type things. If I find a stray dog, I'm just going to kind of hang out with that dog.
You actively seek out stray dogs.
Yes. We were at a showing the other day you're showing somebody, and the next door neighbor accidentally let their like pit mix, like probably not puppy, but like
She was probably about 9
Teen-
or 10 months.
yeah, and it came out and immediately like ran right up to us, and that dog was just.
She was so sweet.
Yeah.
She was just running and jumping and all of the things, and she was so. What a good dog!
I like dogs.
Dogs are great.
She was a good dog.
You can't beat a good dog.
She had a little
you
pink
can beat
collar.
one, but you wouldn't be very nice.
Right.
Yeah. So Tina tells Jonna that she does not want to go against any of her friends, and basically,
Threatens
if you
Jonna.
vote in any of my friends, I'm taking that very personally, and I'm going to come after you. And Jonna is like, oh, you don't get to tell me who I pick and whatever.
Well, Jonna said in a confessional, she's like, it almost makes me want to definitely vote in Melinda now, just for like out of spite.
But I mean, like, I don't know, Johnny. I still can't get a read on her because I think it's just like the opposite of Stockholm syndrome, where it's just like she had such a bad like normal career, and then just like for whatever reason, like All Stars, she just kills it. And so it still makes me hesitant to think that like she's a real big threat. And I know that's a me problem because she's proven
That's
me wrong.
That's a you problem.
But I think it's because I watched her Real World season and then her transition to the show.
But I mean, her first season back, All Stars 1, phenomenal job. Last season, All Stars 2,
drafted her.
1.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's just hard for me to like put in my mind like, oh, John A is like a big time like shot caller in this season.
Get with the program.
Yeah,
because
that's a you problem. She is. We're John A here.
So the authority gets together. They're voting, whatever. They're kind of talking it out first, and we hear that Brad doesn't want to throw in Wes, and they didn't.
Well, Kayla asked the whole authority. She's like, everybody throw out 1 to 2 people.
Yeah. This was before that, though.
That you want to save.
Yeah, this was before that. This was a confessional with Brad, and he was saying, I want to keep Wes. And I told Hannah when the daily ended, after they announced the winners and everyone was leaving, Brad and Wes were like whispering to each other. And then when they're walking off, they're still talking the whole time. And I was like, I wonder if they formed some kind of like,
secret
hey, we've
alliance.
got each other's back. Which, as far as I know, I don't think they've ever done that together.
What I can tell you is this: I believe this may have been the first confessional out of Brad.
It might have been, honestly.
So
Kayla wants everybody to.
Kayla's trying to just stir things up.
Well, yeah, but also she said, obviously my person that I'm saving is Sylvia, but everybody knows that already because that's who I hang out with.
Exactly.
So it's not exposing herself,
Exactly.
it's exposing everybody else.
Which is a smart play.
Yeah, I mean, it was really smart.
I felt validated.
I still don't think you're valid for picking her number one.
I think she's.
In fact, you got called out about it by a handful of people in our Slack group.
Did I miss that?
Because of how it was in podcast feedback.
Okay.
And it was talking about how big of a deal you were talking about and how serious you were taking it and blah, blah, and then those were your picks.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't like those. Which are those?
I'm assuming Kayla and then Cyrus being
okay.
2 of the top 3.
Okay. You took Cyrus before you took Darrell.
That is true.
Jake.
But I do understand that based on your grading system because I've had Darrell before, and you had Darrell, I think, last season.
I've had Darrell twice.
They just don't score points for the most part. He'll probably get some for the swinging and stuff like that, and then he's probably going to lose them for DQing.
So they're calling names.
Yeah.
And Wes was the only name that Brad said to say.
Yeah.
Did you say yes? His reaction to that,
he
did not like that.
Yeah, he's for whatever reason that I can't really put my finger on yet. Like, yes is like very
anti-Wes.
He's like almost like hostile towards that, and because he at one point, because like you have to use the sabotage and things like at one point he calls Wes a cheater for using something like within the game, and I was like, well, that's not cheating.
Well,
if anything, Yes is going to have to do it the next time.
Well, Brad's trying to save Wes.
Yeah.
And Yes is actively trying to get Wes into elimination. And he's saying, well, he enjoys cheating and backstabbing
Which
and
he
conniving.
does, to be honest.
But Wes is not a cheater.
I no, but I think he's the type that you push everything to the edge and you're like, no, I'm within the rules. And like,
yes. But it's still not cheating.
No, I agree. But it that
I think we're going to get a lot more of that in episode 3.
Yeah, the preview for the next episode has them like just talking about it to each other. But yeah, I think without Brad being in that group, I think Wes probably might have been the vote. Mm-hmm. And so they kind of do a process of elimination. They pick one guy and one girl, I think, and then it comes down. There's only like 2 or 3 names left total, and
that aren't saved.
Yeah, and the picks ended up being Melinda, who Tina did not want, and then Mark, who kind of came out of nowhere.
Blindside.
Like, I wouldn't have even thought he was on the table at this point. And I did know before I watched this episode that Mark was voted in because I saw someone that we've met before tweet, like, oh, they did Mark dirty by voting him in. And I was like, well, how did he even get...
How did he get to that point?
Yeah. And it's just a process of elimination of who's been saved,
right?
In quotes. And so,
here's my question: why was John A. the one that was breaking the news of who was voted in? Like, she was part of the authority, but she wasn't like the winner for the day.
No, but it's not the winner's choice. I mean, it's the group's choice.
No, I know it's not the winner's choice, but why was John A. the one that was having to tell everybody?
Maybe just to be nice.
I don't think it was a having to. I think she just...
like, hey, I'm going to give you a heads up.
Well, that's what got Tina so mad at her for.
Yeah. Given Tina's track record, she gets mad about a lot of things.
She does, but it seemed like she was exclusively mad at John A.
Well, because we did see her tell John A. specifically, do not put my friends in, and then she did.
But again, it's John A. is one vote.
Yeah, no,
Tina's got to express her whatever to the whole group.
But Tina doesn't.
She's got to be mad at the
Tina
whole
doesn't
group.
know what happened in that group. She could be like, "Oh, John A.'s the one who rigged this because I told her not to," which wasn't exactly what happened. But also, we saw the confessional that John A. wasn't opposed to that.
No.
So we get Mark giving his little dummy self. I don't know what those are called, but they used to do them with wrestlers.
Yeah, I had a few.
Yeah, it was like slamming buddies or something like that.
I used to wrestle with them on the couch.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I did.
What was that? 6 months ago?
No, I was probably. I guess when WCW was running wild on America.
Late 90s.
Late 90s. I had the Macho Man Randy Savage.
There was a Sting one.
There was a
Hollywood Hulk Hogan one.
I know I had those 3, but
there may
were
have
more.
been a Kevin Nash, maybe?
Maybe.
Like NWO, Kevin Nash. I remember him. I remember them being a huge, like, that was a big thing. And I remember one of my friends, and well, I don't know how close you were with him. They went to church with us back in the day. They had a slip and slide that basically you slid down it, and then at the end of it, you like spear him like Goldberg. I may have been a Goldberg slip and slide if I'm being honest. And Goldberg may have been one of those slamming things or whatever too. But yeah, you just slide real fast into it, and then you hit it. And it's a big blow up Goldberg or whatever, and you knock it over and it pops back up.
I remember that now. Yeah. Okay.
So we get to the arena, and they call down Tina and Latarian, and then he's like, and in the last episode, did he ask who was the vote, or did he just already know? Because I thought he was going to ask who the vote was, but he just called him out. He's like, hey, Melinda and Mark, get down here.
I didn't pay that much attention to that.
So, well, I just was expecting it, and then it didn't happen for whatever reason. I may have just been used to the last few normal seasons.
They talk about that going into marriages, unmet expectations.
Yeah.
That's right. We talked about that when we went through marriage counseling. Mm-hmm. I had expectations and you had expectations, and we had to realize that they were going to be unmet. I wanted him to buy me 100 acres in the 100-acre wood and raise...
Where Winnie the Pooh lives?
Yeah, and raise little mini piglets and goats. And I also wanted 3 housemaids and to never lift a finger, and for him to make all the money so I didn't have to work, and those are unmet expectations.
That's just a wild, we talked about it, and I just had to realize it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. So I said I do.
Yeah. So Mark and Melinda come down. Melinda's escorted by Nehemiah, and I told Hannah this after the episode. I feel like Melinda's playing up the injury. I feel like she might have not been good enough to compete, but she walked off the sand area on her own, but like she almost acted like
she could barely move.
She had like just broken it.
She didn't want to be berated by TJ.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I honestly think that's what happened. Is she's like, I'm incapacitated, and also I don't think she wanted to go against her friend, and so.
And they faced off against each other in elimination early last season.
Yeah.
All Stars won, and Tina quit because she didn't want to go against Melinda. So this is Melinda repaying her without getting in trouble for quitting.
Yeah, and because she just had an ace bandage on it, and I told Hannah, I was like, from someone who's had many ankle injuries, I was like, that provides compression. It's like, but that doesn't provide any like real like support like structurally. It's like you need to get one of those ankle braces.
Right.
And I was like, if you knew you had an ankle problem or like a tendency to roll your ankles, and you knew you were going on a show like this, like you see MJ's wearing that knee brace all the time. Like you've got to like do some things. An ace bandage is not the way to go.
If her ankle was not 100% when she was packing to come on this season, she should have packed an ankle brace, and I haven't seen one on her.
To be
so I don't know
totally
that
fair,
did.
she shouldn't have come on the show.
Probably.
If I'm being honest. If her ankle injury is as bad as she was acting like it was when Nehemiah brought her down, she shouldn't have taken someone else's spot on this season.
Ooh, hot take.
I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, she's injured.
Yeah,
she can't compete.
I understand. Well, you know who was the most upset about it? Kendall.
Yeah, Kendall's.
She was crying her
she cries
eyes
at eliminations
out.
a lot. I saw side by side. Someone put her from. I think it was last season when.
I did see a lot of people were tweeting about that.
Ayanna helped Leah move that thing, and she just is bawling. So Melinda quits basically, and then TJ's like, "Well, we're going to have an elimination. Tina, you can pick whoever you want." And I was like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "That if it's whoever, then that means anyone in the authorities."
I was thinking she's going to get.
I was like, "Janae, she's picking Janae, 100%."
Sure.
Because you could already see it's a thing where you're going to be pushing each other's like body weight, and I was like, "She's going to get Janae," and then TJ's like, just kidding," and
TJ thought that was hilarious.
Man, because if that's a precedent and like you get voted in against one of your friends later on and you're like, I'm not going to win this, just quit and let them pick whoever they want. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that makes sense because otherwise we'd have uneven amounts and all this other stuff. So
Tina just gets Melinda's star and that's it.
Yeah, Mark and Latarian are going to play Lights Out, which it's kind of a mixture of two other eliminations. We've had the ones before where you're strapped back to back and you're digging in the sand to try to get to your whatever. That's a pretty classic one. Weirdly, Devin beat Wes at it like a season or two ago.
Yeah.
But we had the one, I believe it was on the Duel 1, where it's like CT versus Brad maybe?
As you were pushing.
And you have to grab the flag, and he ripped the flag off the carabiner instead of unclipping it. And so I thought it was going to be kind of one of those things, but it was almost a mixture because you're going in the same direction and you just have to hit a button to turn the lights off. Whoever turns the lights off wins. And they just dig in. And right when they did it and how little they were moving, I told Hannah, I was like, man, this could be an hour or more before anything happens. And I know they got up to past 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I know Latarian started dry heaving.
Yes, somebody from the sideline was like, oh, he's going to throw up. It may have been Brad. And so they just like deadlock basically, and honestly, pretty even as far as how they match up physically against each other, because they're about the only two guys that are that size. Like you got some other strong, like Brad is ripped or whatever. He's not as big as those two guys.
Yeah.
And so they kind of deadlock, and then Mark. His plan is, just every time I can gain an inch, I'm going to do it. And he kind of gets a little bit ahead to the point to where they're not moving anymore, but he's, I don't know, maybe halfway there, and Latarian's gotten pushed back, and people start whispering to Latarian about running the opposite direction. But as soon as you say that, Mark's going to hear it too.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's not a bad idea.
Even
like,
Wes said that it was a good idea.
If Latarian came up with it on his own and didn't hear it, like Mark wouldn't have caught, like knowing anything was coming. You might catch him off guard and knock him on his back to where he's being pulled, and then you have the momentum. And so I was like, that's not a bad idea at all. It's just once he got about halfway there, Mark kind of like locked in and like was near the box, and it's just he was too far ahead at that point.
Yeah.
It would have been a heck of a win if that strategy worked, but
I would have yelled.
I think having everyone having to say it out loud because they don't have a direct line to just Latarian kind of threw it off. So Mark wins. He has 2 stars. Tina has 3 stars, and I guess Cyrus has 2 stars, and they're the only people that have multiple stars at this point. So I don't have a problem with this elimination. Last week's was flawed. But this is just kind of a twist on some things we've seen before, but it wasn't in a bad way. Anybody got any final thoughts on this episode? Does Amanda have any final thoughts on the episode?
No, that was it.
Okay.
That's all she had.
Okay, we'll
That's
see.
all she wrote.
We'll
Murder
see if
she wrote.
She has anything coming up in a little bit, but you got anything?
No.
Okay. Well, I just double checking. Let's get the superlatives.
Call it off.
Who got their head smashed?
Stop.
Who
You have
smashed
to
some
go in
heads?
order. Who smashed some heads? John A. when she was delivering the bearer of bad news to everybody in the house.
She delivered the bear?
Yeah. It went raw. You're going into elimination. And then she gave it some honey and it went to the 100-acre wood.
Wood? Singular?
Yep. It's just one.
Who smashed some heads? Did you say John A?
Mm-hmm.
She did.
I say John A for a different reason.
Okay.
Okay.
She braided MJ's head. Smashed his head.
I don't know if that's smashing.
I'll be honest, I don't have a clear-cut smashed head.
Well, she won the daily. Blew it out of the water.
Yes, I don't want to give
No,
her.
she didn't. Kendall won the daily.
Yes, she did.
Her round.
She
She
did win
won
her
her
round.
round. of
Yes,
the
and
daily.
Kendall were the daily winners.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna go.
You know what?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll give it to Kayla for the quote, "If you're a loser, you're a loser."
Agreed.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with TJ because I thought he was gonna let Tina pick John A and do whatever she wanted, and then he's like, "Gotcha." That's good improv skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in the moment. So, who got their head smashed?
Kellyanne. Not only was she delivered the first sabotage, but also that puzzle alone knocked her down, and the fact that she had 1 minute less to work on it, it was, as Jake would say, a double whammy.
Sheesh. Okay. Cyrus,
Okay.
because I forget who fell in the water, but they fell in such a way that Cyrus said, "My back, my back."
Yeah, I remember when that happened. I don't remember.
I understand it was in reference to whoever had hit the water, but if that hurt his back too, hey, he got smashed.
That's some sympathy pains.
Someone was talking about getting an enema out of it at one point.
Tina, I think.
I'm gonna give it to who got their head smashed is. I was gonna say Latarian because I was like he didn't get the money to be a dad like he wanted, but I'm gonna give it to Wes because the guy picked to be sabotaged won their round, and then Wes couldn't get out of the swing, and then apparently now we found out tore his bicep and chipped a tooth when he fell, so he got everything smashed on that one, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So you got anything else before we get into to recap?
You're missing something, aren't you?
I guess I was going to do that then, but you're right.
We're supposed to do them all together.
Like we said last week, we're going to this season recommend video games, and it doesn't have to be current, and it doesn't have to be the best ever. It can just be whatever you want. And it's our patrons said they definitely wanted us to do more recommendations, and so we're going to do that. You can go first. Again, last week your pick was Madden 2006.
And you asked me when we sat down in here, you said, "Oh, is your pick this week Madden 07?"
That would have been a good gag, like a joke to do every week. Just Madden
keep
08,
going.
and then like half at the very end you pick like Spyro.
Spyro
Nailed
was
it.
my pick this week.
I knew it was going to be.
Spyro was my pick this week. When I was a kid, my dad had the PlayStation 1.
This is the same exact story as Madden 06.
We had
It
a
all begins with a
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation.
PlayStation 1, and it came with a demo
Yeah, I had that demo of
games,
Spyro.
and Spyro was on it. And my parents, I told you last week, my parents didn't spend money on video games, but very, very rarely. And so I couldn't get them to buy the Spyro game for me. So I played the demo on loop for years.
I honestly did that too. I had that Spyro demo, and I never bought the full game. I just played the demo.
I've to this day, I still have always wanted to play the game, and I just never got the opportunity.
Okay, I didn't know, because you've talked to me about Spyro many times in the past.
Mm-hmm.
You've never told me that you've only played the demo and never played the rest of the game.
I've never played the rest of the game. I loved the
But
demo.
it's still your pick.
And I wanted to play it so bad. I loved that demo.
Technically, your pick is the PS1 demo of Spyro the Dragon. Because you've not played the rest of the game. You might hate it.
I have always wanted to play the full game.
Again, they're all remastered now.
Okay, well, I don't know what to do.
Get the game.
I don't buy video games. I think subconsciously I can't.
Why'd you point to the back of your skull?
I don't know.
Like, this is where my buying purchases are. Right back here.
Golly, hand. This is a real out of left field kind of pick, honestly. I've never been a Star Wars guy.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Same, by the way.
Huh?
Oh,
Me too.
Are you going to pick my pick for next week?
Are you picking a Star Wars game next week?
Probably a demo she got.
No, it was the full game. My dad loved Star Wars, so we had a Star Wars game.
This one was on the original Xbox. It's just called Star Wars Obi-Wan.
I remember that cover that you're showing me.
The Fate of a Jedi, The Destiny of a Galaxy. It was in line with the prequels.
Knights of the Old Republic are considered the best Star Wars games. I've not played them, but
this game was... I played through this campaign... I couldn't even tell you how many times. It was so freaking cool because, like, you know, you go into... When you use the Force, it slowed everything down. So it's almost like the Matrix, so that was cool.
Or like Max Payne.
I never played those games, but,
game.
You know, you could throw your light... I don't think they ever did in the movies, but you could throw your lightsaber.
I think they had to, because I've played other Star Wars games and you can do that. Like, I've played Jedi Fallen Order, which is the newest Star Wars game, and you can do that in it. It has to be canon.
Well, anyway, this game was super cool. And then there was like a Battle Royale option.
That's strange.
Where you just in a room full of Jedis, and it's last man standing. Like,
that is really strange.
It was just a really fun game. Like, it doesn't look great, but I'd play it. There's so many games, like, since I knew this was the whatever, what do we call this?
Game of the week.
Game of the week. That I've been reminiscing on. Thinking back, it makes me feel like, man, I'd really like to just play this game again. And this is one of them.
It could, yeah. I doubt that it's backwards compatible on the new stuff, but you never know. You talking about like with the lightsaber throw, where they throw it and it's almost like a boomerang and it comes back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you can do it in the newest one, which, by the way, Jedi Fallen Order is a really solid... even if you don't care about Star Wars, which I really don't, like, it's kind of like Uncharted meets Star Wars. Yeah. And so, like, that's right up my alley. Man, I was going to pick something else, but you guys are just picking old games, and so it makes me think that I should pick an old game.
No, you pick whatever you're going to pick.
Well, then I'm going to go with what my original plan was, which is... Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest. I'd heard of these games, never played them. I think the first one came out in like 2015. They're on Xbox Games Pass, and they are two of my favorite games probably of all time. They're Metroidvanias, which basically, if you don't know what that is, you kind of work your way through a game, and then you get to certain areas, and you can see where you're supposed to go, but you can't get there because you don't have certain powers. And then you have to backtrack, and you work your way up, and then I did this, and now I have this new power. Oh, I can go way over here and go up to that thing that I couldn't reach before. And then it's just a lot of, like, back and forth and, like, learning new abilities and stuff like that. But Ori and my desktop background is Ori and the Blind Forest. On my laptop, it's Ori and the Will of the Wisp. But they're just incredible games. Great story, great visuals, really good like music, and Not too long. You can knock them out in like 4 to 6 hours. Like so you don't feel like you have a big time commitment.
That's
so
what she said.
Yeah.
4 to 6 hours. Yeah. So that's my pick, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I was gonna pick an old game, but I'll wait on that one. I can do that now. So you ready to
it's time for.
I honestly don't even remember who sponsored it.
Prince, Not Quite a King.
Right.
Are you ready to just jump right into this?
I'm ready.
There are a lot of fantasy points this week. A lot.
That means a lot of counting.
So, we're starting out giving 10 points to Sylvia for twerking.
Did she?
She
did.
Out by the pool.
She did.
I don't even remember that.
We get a nice little picture being taken out over the horizon. 5 points to MJ, Brad, Mark, and Darrell. You know, they were sitting in the pool and they were reclined back.
MJ, Brad.
They were doing
Mark and Darrell.
the white girl pose on
White girl
Instagram
pose.
where they're showing off their butts in the water.
Yeah.
No, not the hot dog legs.
No,
Yeah.
it's from behind.
Cyrus ain't no old booty layup. 10 points.
Oh, 10, sorry.
Nehemiah even got a pick too. 5 points. It's MJ Braden time. 5 points. Are those Crocs MJ's wearing? 15 points.
They're not normal ones.
But they are Crocs.
They are. And actually, shout out to Chico who sent me a link to buy those.
What?
He did.
Chico, why are you doing this to me?
You roll your eyes, but he's on your team.
Yeah. And guess what? Those Crocs got you 15 points.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which I think Zach would agree with that scoring.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm wearing furry Crocs right now.
Oh, he got the furry ones.
With socks.
Well, currently with socks, because if you
It's like 90 degrees outside.
But if you wear the furry ones without like socks or something, your feet sweat.
Your feet sweat anyway.
Exactly, and it makes it worse with these. And so,
why are you wearing them?
Just honestly, just one because I like them, but two because I know you don't like them, and also my grandmother gave them to me.
Would you rather watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Zach quit wearing Crocs altogether?
Wait, what? Those are why?
That's really hard.
But that's
No.
That's really hard.
It's not hard. You phrased it very strange.
Would I rather watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2
or me to stop wearing them
or
altogether?
would I rather you to stop
But I
wearing
knew that
Crocs
she-
altogether? I got that immediately.
Okay, am I missing something? Let's break this down.
One, I watch a
Hold on,
Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Exactly, which you don't want to do.
Two,
or two, have me stop wearing it altogether, which you would love to do. Why is this a hard choice?
Because I know her. I know her, Zach.
I have to pick one or the other. I have to pick either
You guys are not listening to me.
I have to pick either you stop wearing.
Stop wearing. That's what you guys are
Yeah,
missing.
if
You, I feel like I'm going crazy, but you guys are both wrong on this. Option A is for her to watch a movie that she doesn't want to watch. So it's something she dislikes. Option B would be me to stop wearing Crocs.
I understood what you meant though.
You know what I mean.
understood
I
what you
pick one
meant,
or the
but
other.
you guys are both insane. And I was like, why is this a hard choice?
You have to watch a Sonic movie
this
or
is why
Zach,
we're best friends.
Zach wears Crocs for the rest of eternity.
There we go. I was like, this is a no-brainer. She doesn't want to do one and she wants to do the other.
It was you in Crocs or Sonic the Hedgehog.
But that's not what he said, and that's not what you said when you repeated it, and then you both looked at me like I was dumb, and I was like, what are you talking about?
I understood immediately.
But you can't give an answer.
We didn't
because
need
it's
a
so hard.
clarification. I don't know.
See, I knew.
I don't know. We get through the points and I'll have you an answer.
All right. We get a Mark and Mom FaceTime session. 10 points. 15 points to Mark because Mom got a good report.
Yeah. Did you notice he called her baby at the end? He's like, see you later, baby.
I brought that up. I was like, he called his mom baby.
But in like a, not like in like a
sensual.
Yeah, it was because later when he talks to the little dummy, he's like, let's go, baby. It's just, I guess it's what he does.
Don't be sensual with your mom.
Yeah.
And also just an overall inspirational time with Mark. 15 points. 15 more. Yeah. Oh no, Melinda ankle injury, -10.
Oh, I forgot I have her. God dang it.
Tina with a bit of advice. You have to start doing kitten heels. 10 points.
Do you know what a kitten heel is?
Do not.
Me either.
Tina.
What, really? It's
I
this
figured
high.
that, but
it's
I
the
don't-
little tiny heels. that are barely heels at all.
All right, well. Tina offers to fiddle Melinda a cane. Whittle.
I was like, what? It wasn't that funny. Hannah almost spit out her drink.
It auto-corrected when I...
Yeah. So did you put D's
Fiddle.
in there?
Huh?
Did you put D's in there?
Well, I was trying to write whittle.
But how did you spell that?
With D's.
Yeah, that's not how you spell it. It's T's. You're like, she wants a whittle. Whittle is like W-H-I-T-T-L-E.
Yeah, well, Dena offers to fiddle Melinda a cane.
Yeah.
5 points to Tina.
It sounds like she's wearing like a snorkel.
She got water in her mouth or something.
She's like breathing through a snorkel, but on dry land.
She's about to fiddle something.
I hope that they can hear all this on the mic because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. There's a little bit of some stuff coming through there.
Simmer down.
Yeah. Just go ahead and go on.
Yeah. Sylvia did a little grenade cock going into the daily. That was cool. 10 points.
Okay.
Some of my water was coming out my nose.
My nose.
Well, at least I know how to spell whittle.
Right. According to Latarian, this time he's cool. 5 points.
Latarian is cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got Darrell hating Heights again. -5. But we're gonna give him 10 points for the quote. I know you always got to bring out your crane, so I'm gonna play your game.
Yeah. Bars. Yeah.
-15 to Kellyanne and Jordyn. They got sabotaged.
All right, so you got to remember that.
Got to remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
You making a note?
I did.
Cool.
-15. Where's Jordyn at? Oh, up here.
We're going to give Jordyn 5 points for the montage of him just being awesome.
Yeah, just killing everybody in eliminations.
Yeah.
Latarian should have hung out with his niece on swings, but he didn't. -5. Derek isn't used to G-strings. -5.
Probably the only thing he's going to get points for in this episode, I would assume.
Nehemiah wants to teach financial freedom. There's too much debt in this world. 15 points.
By the way, if you haven't listened to our Nehemiah interview, he talked about that in the interview we did with him way before All Stars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he definitely is serious about it.
Let's see. 15 points to Derek because he's getting married.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong. I feel like you're in that stage, and so you're very like sympathetic to give him more points to him.
Well, he's on your team, so be happy.
That's true.
Sylvia is effing stressed. -5. Jordyn screams F you real big. 20 points. We're going to give him 10 points for being the first to finish in his heat.
Uh-huh.
-10 to Wes and Latarian for getting the time penalty.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of girls in the next heat.
Yeah.
Wes and Latarian.
Latarian is the last to finish in his heat. -10. 10 points to Kellyanne for the quote, sometimes adults can't do 2-year-old things.
It's true.
John A. is the first to finish in their heat. 10 points. Melinda gets a sense of relief. 5 points. -10 to Jimmy, Nia, Melinda, and Sylvia for the penalty.
Jimmy,
Nia's up top.
Nia,
Melinda, and Sylvia.
Melinda. These are all very spread out. And Sylvia. Okay.
Melinda makes a comment about her aggravated ankle. -5. 10 points to MJ for the quote, be quick, but don't hurry.
Yeah. How many? 10?
That's actually pretty good, yeah.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of a... I forgot where that comes from, but I'd heard that before.
Another 10 points to Kellyanne for the quote, tell me how to cheat or move on. -10 because she can't form stars. -10 because she doesn't even know what a star looks like anymore. Jimmy made a comment about having a concussion. -10. -5 to Kellyanne because she's not a calm person. And another -10 to Kellyanne because she finished last in her heat.
She's lost 35 points on that one star.
She was awful during this daily.
Darrell was being made to get on roller coasters by Mom and was getting them shut down too. -15.
Yeah, because that screws everybody's day.
Yeah. 10 to yes, he's the first to finish. According to Darrell, his hands are raw and bleeding. -10. Another -10 to him for a time penalty. He's waiting on Mama. She ain't coming. -10. Last to finish, -10. Rough go of it for Darrell.
Yeah.
-15 for whatever happened to Tina.
Oh, the
thing.
upside
Her
down.
being flipped upside down.
Yeah.
Another -10 because she's stuck.
Wait,
Well, I mean, just another.
Oh, okay, yeah.
According to Nehemiah, she turned into a sex toy. We'll give her 5 points for that.
I thought he said she turned it into a sex swing.
Sex
She
swing.
did-
Well,
he did say that.
5
'Cause she
points.
was just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
presenting.
We like sex swings here.
Yeah.
Do we?
But
I don't know what they look like.
-20 to her because she got DQ'd. -25 because she loses. Another -15 because she's going straight into elimination. Another -10 because it's her second straight elimination.
Is that going to
Oh,
be
it
a thing
is.
going forward?
Huh?
Is that going to be a thing going forward?
Nah, I
I just didn't know. Like, I'm not opposed to it, but
if I remember, that's just a second week in a row. -5, Cyrus screaming about his back. 10 points to Kendall. She's first to finish.
where's Kendall at? Oh, okay, up here.
Ronnie and
It's Ronnie, by the way.
Is it Ron?
Multiple
Yeah,
people.
I thought it was Ronnie. And
Was
you
they-
guys were like, oh, she's like Rice-A-Roni.
Well, I didn't know, and it is spelled like how you would say Ronnie, but because it doesn't have the double
That looks like
N.
Ronnie to me.
Well, you can't spell.
No, Jake can't
Jake can
spell.
spell Whittle.
-10 to her and Veronica for getting the time penalty. And somehow I managed to miss who got last in this heat.
Her and Veronica. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I have a note of that.
Okay.
The final girls heat.
Yeah.
I think it was Ronnie.
Oh, it was Tina. She DQ'd.
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. That's why I didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Latarian loses -25, -15 because he's going straight in. We're gonna give 50 points to Yes and Kendall for winning the daily. An additional 25 because they are safe.
Yes, and
Kendall.
Kendall. And then 25?
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
An additional 15 because they have sabotage power. Remember, daily wins get you a lot of points.
Basically, elimination wins.
25 to Jordyn and John A for getting second.
Did they say for sure they got second?
They did.
Okay. I couldn't remember. That was the one thing I was wondering. Jordyn and John A. 25, and then
15 to Brad and Kayla for getting third.
Jordyn and who?
John A.
John A.
Where's she at?
Up top. They're both on my team.
And then Kayla
And Brad, 15 points.
and Brad. All right, I'm good.
Yes is riding his horse, 5 points. A kiss from Wes for Jordyn, 10 points to Jordyn. Latarian wants to be a surrogate single dad. We'll give him 10 points for that. Kellyanne and a dog, 20 points. She wants to open an animal sanctuary, 15 points. We get a little mini spat from John and Tina. We'll give it 5 points. Not a full-on spat, but...
More of a threat.
Yeah.
John A. 5 points.
Wes breaks the fourth wall, 10 points.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. We got a king reference from Latarian, -10. We're still over that. 15 points to Kayla for the quote, if you're a loser, then you're a loser. -25 to Mark and Melinda for getting voted in.
Both on my team.
10 points to Tina for the quote, that girl has teeth in her. 5 points to John A for having teeth.
10 for Tina, 5 for John A.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. 15 points for little plush Mark.
Okay.
And a low high five from him, 5 points. Let's see. 10 points to the elimination ease for the rematches. These are both rematches.
Yeah, they were. To 10.
10 to everybody in the elimination.
Yeah.
-5 to Melinda. She's limping. And then it's a medical DQ. -25 here. Sad Kendall, -5. TJ got Tina, -5. Unless you guys just strongly oppose, this still goes down as a win. So
I don't remember what we did because I don't know if we ever got to a elimination and had someone just DQ.
My approach is you look on any challenge website, win is a win.
Will it count as a win for
75 to Tina?
I didn't know if it would or
Yeah.
not. Oh, she does get star, so I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mark wears Invisalign, 5 points.
Shout out to Marie, who that's what she sells now.
Let's see. Cyrus said these that Latarian and Mark look like two horses. Pulling. 5 points to Mark and nope, not Cyrus.
Oh, sorry.
Mark and Latarian. Mark brought his mom with him. 15 points. We're gonna give 10 points to Latarian for the smart thinking. -5 because it did not work. Mark wins 75. -50 to Latarian because he loses. According to Cyrus, Latarian's got a lot to give to the world. 10 points to Latarian. Not
He gave it
Cyrus.
to
Latarian.
Cyrus.
Well, he starts these quotes off, so I go to that person.
But he's talking about the person.
But he said, according to Cyrus, so I go down to Cyrus because it's a quote Cyrus
According to
is gonna
Cyrus, Latarian has.
Yeah,
Immediately go to Latarian.
I'm the one doing all the work here. You sit there and you're on your phone half the time, and he's reading.
My phone's dead.
And so I'm doing all the work.
Well, hey, this is an easy one. The last 15 points go to Mark and Tina for getting stars on their shirts. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are your fantasy points for the week. Having said all that, I'm going to go urinate real fast, and we're going to take a quick break. And we're back. Again, this sponsor is brought to you by Prince.
Not quite king.
The sponsor is brought to you by Prince.
It's almost midnight here in West Tennessee. Yeah. I'm tired, y'all.
Tired.
So,
what happened this week, Zach?
Lots of things happened.
A lot of points.
If you had to guess the high score for the week, who would you think it is? Don't look at it. Don't look at it up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guess. I didn't say who factually knows.
High score for the week. Man, Jordyn?
No. Actually, not even close.
Holy moly! Wow. I guess he didn't score a lot.
Oh, you want me to guess?
Yeah, I literally asked you guys to guess.
Kendall.
No, you guys.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Not even close. Mark, 170 from Mark.
Wow.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
A lot of mom points and then winning the daily.
Yeah,
I mean winning the elimination. So, low score for the week.
Jimmy.
No, I'm gonna get. I would say
she didn't score much, but
I would say either Darrell or Melinda.
Latarian.
Yeah.
He forgot about the guys' matchup.
Golly, man.
So, going in order of who was drafted with Hannah's team, Jordyn ended up with 55.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I
Naya,
can't stand you.
Naya -10.
Yeah.
Latarian -80.
Oh my God.
That's not as bad as it could have been.
MJ 35. John A 45, Kendall 95. The daily wins are big on this season. Ronnie -10, Jimmy -20. So you got 110 for the week, which is worse than what you did last week, which was not good last week.
But I'm still in the positive.
To be fair, Jake and I both didn't score as high as last week either. Mm-hmm. So for me, Wes got 0. He had points, but they canceled out. Mark got 170. Brad got 20. Derek got 10. Veronica got -10. Kellyanne got 5. And then Melinda got -65. Those ankle injuries kept up with her. And then Tyler's already eliminated for me. So I ended up with 130 for the week. Jake, Kayla got you 25. Yes got you 105 because, again, daily win. Cyrus, 5. Darrell, negative 45.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tina, even though she won, she had a lot of negatives early on. So she got 35 points total.
Hey. Could have been worse.
Nehemiah got 20. Cynthia's already eliminated. And then Sylvia got you 5. So you ended up with 145 for the week. So you still had the highest week because, yes, carried you mostly. And then, Tina did come out in the positive because, like with me, like Melinda got me a negative 65, and then Hannah had a negative 80. You had a negative 45. I
did have a negative 45.
And he didn't even go into elimination.
No, but he was real bad showing in the daily.
Yeah, he had a bad showing this whole episode.
As of week 2, Hannah has... Whoop, on keyboard.
Uh-oh.
Watch it.
Oh
Watch it.
Hannah has... what are you freaking out for? As of right now, I gotta do the parentheses. She has 235 points.
That's a good number.
Well, last week Jake had 230 and I had 205.
I'm in the sweet spot.
So, I didn't know there was a space there. I am in second still, and I have 335.
It's like it's falling apart over here.
I'm typing one-handed and then holding the note in the other one. And then Jake is in third place with 375.
That would be first place, sir.
First place, sorry. I was doing them in reverse order. You're 40 points away from me and 140 points away from Hannah. But, like, Mark got me 170 this week.
Yeah.
So, depending on... it, honestly, the eliminations kill you. Like, if your person goes home, it's rough.
So you've got 2 people eliminated, and me and Han have 1 each.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, to be totally honest, though, they were my last 2 picks.
Right.
And, Jake, your next to last pick has gone home. And then, as of right now...
Hannah's third
pick has gone home. So, that's a big swing. And, honestly, I didn't expect a lot from Melinda and Tyler, which is why they were 7th and 8th. But I do have to update that they are gone and Latarian.
Who would you say has the most value right now based on where they were picked and how many points they've scored?
Ooh,
so you're probably looking at the lower portion of your teams, right?
Yeah, so
Kendall's been solid.
Well, Kendall last week she only got 30 points.
That's right.
It was just this week she had an outlier because she won the daily.
But it's also only week 2.
Yeah, true. Again, I'm just going off of what he said. Tina scored a lot, and she has won 2 eliminations, but she's also had a decent amount of negative points.
Sylvia's been solid.
She was really good episode 1. Today she got you 5 points.
Right.
So nothing too crazy there. Kellyanne's not been
bad.
She
pretty
scored
good.
a lot. She got a lot of negatives for today's daily.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Like, honestly, the bottom half of all of these have been hit or miss. Now, you've had some people like Ronnie who hasn't done much either episode. And then you have people like Jimmy, who's been in the negative both weeks.
How many points has Brad scored total in 2 weeks?
He got me 20 this week and nothing last week.
He didn't even score last week.
Yeah, I mean, but last week Darrell got you nothing. And then this week he got you negative 45.
Well, look at Naya. Hannah's second pick, negative 10 this week.
Nothing last week.
God.
And then now your third pick went home. And last week Jordyn got her 0. And this week he ended up with like... he got 55 because he did pretty good in the daily.
Han, I would say right now you arguably have the worst top 3 picks
So far.
Purely based off points.
One,
scored.
Latarian's gone home. Mm-hmm. Jordyn's your big swing.
Yeah.
Jordyn.
Well, I knew Jordyn was a safe pick because he likes getting into it with people.
The only thing
he's very good, but
Yeah.
Latarian...
Yeah.
Because of how well he did the last 2 seasons, I really was banking on him lasting a little bit longer.
I think Latarian would have beat any other guy in this elimination probably.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him literally break Ace in half.
Yeah, Ace is like 70 pounds less than him.
I know, but we saw like he didn't let up on him.
And he also broke Tyler too.
He did.
Lord, he
Don't
broke his
get me
guy for him.
started.
He broke Tyler more than he broke Ace. And so, it's Jordyn's the big upside for you. I like Nia's. Nia is like those guys in the NBA that, like, on paper, you're like, oh, this is exactly what you want out of this position.
It's Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, the worst all-star starter of all time.
Right.
Or Jeff Green. Like, never panned out to be the superstar he was supposed to be.
Don't get me started on Jeff Green.
Just Ben McLemore. Guys who on paper have everything you want, but we'll see. I hope Nia has a better season, not for your fantasy sake, but just because I want her to be good and
It's the first time we've seen her in a long time.
Yeah. So this is a long episode because we had a lot of. Well,
we got sidetracked a lot.
We had sidetracks. We had a stoppage early on that you didn't even know about, and then there's just a lot of things happening. But we'll be back with you later this week. Not sure if Hannah will be here. I don't think she will, but we'll have her notes. So it'll just be a boys' night, and we'll go through, and I guess we'll have Amanda's notes as well.
Amanda, you guys need to read Amanda's notes since I won't be here.
Okay, yeah. We'll do that, and then we'll have an episode 3 sometime later this week, and we'll go from there. But follow us on Twitter @SmashingHeads, @SmashingHeads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, and then patreon.com/SmashingHeads Podcast, and we'll be back with you in a couple of days.
Y'all have a good night, everyone.